Of all the places in the world you could possibly choose to live, Paris, Italy, Dubai, a Russian farm in the middle of nowhere, there's a man out there that chooses to live in a shed that costs $3,000 a month in the middle of San Francisco. Now, why am I saying this? Well, that city is one of, if not located on the most deadly part of the entire world, the Ring of Fire. It's not just a song. The Pacific Ring of Fire, also known as the Circum-Pacific Belt, is a very large U-shaped area that's located in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. This area does border a lot of the area that the Pacific does. However, it really doesn't border everything that you think it would. Around 500 million people actually live inside of the Pacific Ring of Fire, but billions are actually affected by it every single year. Around the Ring of Fire, there's about 850 to 1,000 different volcanic formations. Some of these have been active in the last 10,000 years. This area is actually home to 90% of the entire world's seismic activities. It's about 25% of the world's volcanoes, which actually doesn't seem like a lot, but when you take into consideration how many different volcanic eruptions have happened here in the last 200 years, typically they'll come from this area. And around 75% of the entire world's seismic activities actually happen through the Ring of Fire. Now, why is this? Well, the Pacific Ring of Fire actually meets many different tectonic plates. It's actually located right above the Pacific plate, and this plate actually borders many of the different tectonic plates that are out there. These would include the Eurasian, North American, Arctic, Indian, Cocos, Philippine, and many, many of the other ones out there. These plates always slide around, they smash into each other, they collapse on each other, they even can go right on top of each other in some points. These cause a lot of seismic activity around the area, and this is actually what causes a lot of the oceanic trenches, like the Marianas Trench is actually located down in the Pacific Ring of Fire. It causes all of the earthquakes that happen in the area, and even the volcanic eruptions are consequence to this. Now, the Californians will know this very, very well as the San Andreas Fault, which is one of the most famous fault lines in the entire United States. It's actually located in the Pacific Ring of Fire. It's the very, very eastern border of it. This fault line has been home to a lot of different seismic activity that happens between the years. California isn't the only state that's in this ring. The Cascade Mountain Range, which is in the northwestern part of the United States in Washington, Oregon, southern Canada. It's actually also a product of the Ring of Fire. Causes a lot of the seismic activity in the area, and there's actually a ton of different old volcanic formations that are in this area. Most of them aren't active, however, the most infamous volcano in the United States is Mount St. Helens. This is one of the largest active volcanoes in the United States, also infamous for that 1980s eruption that everyone caught on camera. The Ring of Fire has been the setting for several of the largest earthquakes in recorded history. This includes the Chilean earthquake of 1960, the Alaskan earthquake in 1964, the Chilean earthquake in 2010, the Japanese earthquake in 2011, which created that massive tsunami that also created a lot of nuclear issues when it hit a nuclear power plant and flooded it, as well as an earthquake that produced a devastating tsunami in the Indian Ocean in 2004. So you're probably wondering to yourself, why would anyone really like to live in this area? The easiest answer to give would just be the natural expansion of humans. We always really want to settle on areas that we deem to be very nice, temperate climate, things like that. Easy access to water is definitely a huge factor here. You could use that water as trading methods. Singapore is right in the heart of the Pacific Ring of Fire, and it's Asia's largest trading port. You could also have inlet rivers down there, which could be used for drinking water, and also actually volcanic ash and things like that create fertile farming grounds. So growing food is actually pretty easy in this area. Thanks, guys, for watching. If you learned something new, hit the like. It really helps. And if you have any more fun facts about the Ring of Fire, just throw them down.